Well, if you thought tech censorship was bad before, now the Supreme Court has said, nope, you're good. You can go ahead and coordinate with the Biden administration here in an election year. Censor who you want. Have at it. This is absolutely nuts. We're going to talk about it and talk about some of the implications of this. I'm Jared. This is Continue Freedom. Let's go. Okay, and welcome back to Continue Freedom. Thanks so much for being here. So, Chief Justice Roberts and Associate Justices Brett Kavanaugh, Sonia Sotomayor, Alina Kagan, and Ketanji Brown Jackson signed on to Barrett's opinion. So Barrett was the one who authored this, the majority opinion on this one, and they believe that there was improper standing, is my understanding, that for this particular case, and this case was filed by Missouri and Louisiana. And the lawsuit before the high court alleged that the federal government's collusion with big tech companies to suppress Americans' online speech violates the First Amendment. I think to those of us with common sense would say, yes, that is in fact the case. Shortly after taking power in January 2021, the Biden administration began coordinating with social media giants to censor posts they deemed unfavorable, even if said posts contained factually correct information, as written by the Federalist. That's where this article comes from the Federalist. And so, yeah, we've seen the emails. It's been part of congressional testimony. People that are in the federal government, their emails are stored and kept. It's a manner of completing the record, the official record, so that if there's an investigation, we can go back and see what they were writing to one another. And we saw the emails between social media companies and government employees, government bureaucrats saying, hey, I saw this post. I need you to take it down. And these weren't emails done just during standard business hours either. These were done at any time of day. Anytime somebody was scrolling through social media, they would say, hey, this, and I'm paraphrasing now, or editorializing, but this doesn't meet the narrative. We need you to take it down. And the social media companies would oblige them. Well, the dissenting voices in this one, Justice Alito, Justice Thomas, and Justice, not Kavanaugh, but who did I not read off? Gorsuch. That was right. Sorry about that. I had a brain fart. So anyway, in the dissenting opinion, it said it was blatantly unconstitutional. This is written by Alito. It was blatantly unconstitutional, and the country may come to regret the court's failure to say so, Alito wrote. Officials who read today's decision together with Vullo will get the message. If a coercive campaign is carried out with enough sophistication, it may get by. That is not a message this court should send. This is, it's the fact that this is happening in an election year is look, I did a video. I don't know if I've posted it at the point in time. I'm recording these videos separately, but I did a video about a Canadian study, and that Canadian study said these are the things on the horizon, the potential issues on the horizon that could lead to unrest, that could lead to collapse, that could lead to civil war, da-da-da-da-da. Well, one of the things on there is people not knowing what is true and what is false. And that is already a problem that we have. We've seen big tech censorship. We know that leftist voices are going to get pushed to the forefront of the algorithm, that conservative voices are going to get shadow banned and throttled. And so the messaging, look at Donald Trump. The messaging about Donald Trump is that he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a homophobe. Even if it's false, they continue to push that narrative. And even if somebody posts something that is true, that is in the dissenting voice to the leftist and the uniparty, talking points, if we oppose that, we are going to get pushed to the back. So people are going to get a message that is heavily weighted towards the left, heavily weighted towards the federal government's official party line. And we have to be able to have freedom of expression. We have to be able to have an even playing field so that people can listen to both sides of the argument and make their own determination. But in an effort to create a hive mindset inside of the entire country that is fully in support of the federal government and authoritarianism and entirely against the Constitution and the more conservative way of looking at the world, things like this happen, and it feeds that. It feeds the authoritarian message. It feeds the leftist message, and it's another way for them to crush dissenting voices and people who believe that are simple things that you would think the Supreme Court would uphold. That's that our rights come from a creator, that the government doesn't give us our rights come from God. That's something that has to be shut down. That we should be able to hear all the information, not just the curated information like we saw during COVID. Whether people that supported the Fauci ouchie or people that thought it might be dangerous. We should be able to have all of that information and use our own power of discernment to figure out the best course of action for ourselves. No, we can't do that. This is about the federal government giving you your rights, the federal government giving you your information, and ensuring that these multi-billion-dollar and trillion-dollar companies are acting in a way that pushes their party line. And as a result, they get legislation that benefits them. You know, they can run their businesses the way they see fit. They can get their tax loopholes and all that good stuff. This is corruption to the nth degree. And I know that the Supreme Court they want something to stand the test of time. At least the conservatives do. So when they make a decision that we look at and say, okay, this looks blatantly unconstitutional, it's a violation of our First Amendment rights, I can only hope that, Kavanaugh, Roberts doesn't care, but Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett's decision to sign on with the majority in this one is because they believe it won't stand the test of time. And so to legally lock something in and to prevent it in the future, we may have to suck it up for now. But when this comes back to the Supreme Court and they have proper standing, then they can lock it in for a lifetime. But I don't know. That's my optimistic viewpoint on this. I think the realistic viewpoint is that they just made a bad ruling. Because, Justice Alito, Thomas, Gorsuch, these guys are brilliant too. Amy Coney Barrett is a brilliant. And I think Brett Kavanaugh is. Ketanji Brown Jackson, Sotomayor, Kagan, these, I don't, these are people who believe that the Constitution is a living, breathing document. And I thought that Justice Barrett and Justice Kavanaugh were ones who believed that the Constitution was ironclad. But it doesn't appear to be the case in this one. So I'm just hoping that they're saying, all right, we need to if we're going to lock this in, go back, lawyers, do a little more work, bring it back in front of us. But man, the timing is suspicious for this to happen in an election year, a few months out from the election. Could be catastrophic because we know that the Biden administration will use this. They will use this decision to their advantage, and the social media companies will use this to their advantage, and they will be crushing conservative voices and smiling while they do it. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave comments below. We're on X Locals, Rumble, and YouTube, and I'll see you in the next video.